Real change produces real fruit. Today we offer some of the tangible fruit from our Asperger and Cassandra healing, evidence of how things have changed. Stick around and find hope for your situation. Hi, I'm Steve.
And I'm Lib.
And together we're Lib and Steve.
Before Steve's healing of Asperger's in 2018, we experienced the classic repetitive cycles of hopelessness that happen in neurodiversity. I knew something was wrong. I would tell Steve. Steve's mind-blind Aspie brain could not deal with my frustration. He would gaslight me, implying I was the crazy one. We couldn't have genuine discussions. We couldn't dream together. Steve had no executive functioning to carry out plans. I always felt stuck.
In 2018, I had an incredible God moment that brought about my healing. Our early episodes tell the story of my early journey of the healing of my Asperger brain, which ultimately came about as I learned to hear the voice of God and believing He was a God who could heal. For instance, in Season 2, Episode 2, I tell my process of learning to hear God's voice. We'll put the link for that in the description. After the healing of my neural pathways, the courageous journey began of healing patterns, learning to relate to people with new capacity. I had lived the first 53 years of my life as an Aspie. When my brain was healed, it was like a dimmer switch was turning up slowly and the lights came on in my brain. I could think more clearly. I was growing capacity to change the way I thought, bringing about changed patterns.
So I had to trust Steve that he really was on a journey of permanent growth. After years of reset buttons, it felt very courageous for me to trust him. But again, what I really had to do was trust God. I stayed in my own truth circle and kept straight my identity with God. I'm a daughter of a loving Heavenly Father. It was a win-win no matter what happened. My happiness ultimately was linked to God, not Steve. Sure, there have been bumps along the way, but the capacity that Steve has now is the proof in the pudding. Today we offer the tangible evidence of things we could never before have accomplished.
Last fall, in Season 2, Episode 41, we did an episode telling of our journey of dreaming, planning, and discussing together. Today we show you the fruition of those dreams. This is something that could not happen in the Aspie years. We began to plan for some yard and garden landscaping. It was so much fun to do this cooperatively.
For the first 32 years of our marriage, I gradually gave up on dreaming. I realized none of it would ever come true because Steve would experience the idea of the dream in his thoughts for a brief minute and then hit a reset button. And the idea was poof, gone. Before his diagnosis, I didn't realize he could not executive function, so he could not execute the dream. But now, for the first time, he's been working hard on learning how to take steps to actually make the dream happen. We have meaningful discussions, and things really happen.
For instance, I recently learned to budget for the first time in our marriage. I had a friend help me learn how to do an online budgeting program called NeoBudget. That was a major step in executive functioning. It helped us in so many ways. I no longer have to have anxiety over whether we will run out of money. This allowed me the ability to give Lib the freedom to be creative in the garden design.
Last fall, as the former neurodiverse dream killer season of our marriage was over, I dreamed of a yard sculpture that would represent the symbol of origin, a beautiful theme God has been encouraging me with in this last year. I drew up the plans. So here's the image I came up with. We had no idea how we would execute this plan.
As Lib and I talked about various ways to make this sculpture, I remembered a retired friend who did welding. Lib reached out to him, and sure enough, he had the connections to execute the making of this beautiful steel yard sculpture. We budgeted for the final cost, and voila, here's our new sculpture.
It was so fun the day the sculpture recently arrived. And then to begin planting flowers around it, The symbol of origin reminds me that my beginnings were in heaven as a spirit breathed out by a loving Heavenly Father who wrote a story about me. The messes in our lives were never his plan. Jesus came to restore everything lost and destroyed by the enemy.
To the naked eye, this garden project might seem small and insignificant, but in neurodiversity, to see a real, tangible evidence of change, it is heaven come down to earth. It is miraculous. Come on a visual tour with us now to be reminded how God has taken some of our ash heap and turned it into beauty.
We so love our beautiful garden. It reminds us that mankind began on earth in a garden. A very sad choice happened in that garden. It reversed the beauty of the garden plan. But Jesus came to restore. Jesus is restoring our story. Back to origin. We have stepped into new chapters with new choices. Choices to believe that our individual truth circles never included the pain and heartache of neurodiversity.
We hope this encourages you to step into your story of origin by trusting God in new ways that He came to restore your story of brokenness. We hope this plants a seed in the garden of your heart.
And thank you for your patience as we dream about ways to expand our message into tangible coaching resources to help walk alongside you in your journey. As we are developing resources, just continue to reach out to us at libandsteve@gmail.com.
Please like us, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and share this with anyone who could benefit. See you next time.